9 News at 9 starts right now.
Rescue crews are working around the clock after Hurricane Melissa tore through the Caribbean this past week. Nearly 50 people have been killed so far. Torrential downpours and strong winds slammed the region, damaging homes, causing severe flooding, and forcing the evacuation of hundreds of thousands of people. Jamaica was impacted the most. Melissa left about 70% of the island without power and shut down more than 80 roads. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio activated the Regional Disaster Assistance Response just to try to help with recovery efforts. Thanks for joining us tonight on 9 News Plus. I'm Jennifer Meckles.
And I'm Mark Salinger. It's been a nightmare for one Aurora mother as well. Her 41-year-old twin daughters got trapped in Jamaica during that storm. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez spoke with her earlier today. And Colton, she says her daughter's finally headed home now.
Yeah, Mark, and it was supposed to be a trip to celebrate the twins' birthday. But tonight the mother says having her two children back home is the best gift she could ever hope for.
I had to live with the fact that I may lose 2 children at one time.
What started as a 41st birthday celebration in Jamaica for 2 twin sisters.
So that's Trinette and that's Trista.
Their mother, Jennifer McGraw, says quickly turned to chaos when Hurricane Melissa went surging through the Caribbean island.
Had the airlines not shut down, they would have left Monday before the storm ever hit. And I just had a conversation with God, and I said, if you're going to take my 2 children, you better take me first.
Jennifer's toughest moments seen through the few text messages she was able to send to Trinette and Trista.
If you don't survive, know that I love you, and I will take care of your son. And then when you get that one text that they could get in, you kind of take a deep breath, and then you hold it, waiting for the next one.
That next moment for Jennifer wouldn't come until 2 days after the storm hit.
They said, Mom, there's a group here, and she said, you need to go on their website. You have to register us.
That group was Grey Bull Rescue, a donation-driven organization that was sent to bring Americans home.
Those guys are the real heroes to me.
Thank you.
Organizers say they used 2 planes to bring home 340 people from the island of Jamaica. It's a birthday the twins will always remember.
As bad as that storm was, they didn't expect there to be survivors.
With a gift they will never forget.
And I want them to understand that the blessing that has been bestowed upon them.
Mother Jennifer tells me her daughters are actually being flown into the Tampa Bay airport and should be landing just after midnight tonight. Colton Chavez, 9 News.
Back here in Colorado, it's a chilly and cloudy Halloween out there. Hope you bundled up with those Halloween costumes to trick or treat. We dipped into the upper 40s today. That's about 10 degrees below average this time of year. Don't worry though, we're warming back up for the start of November.
Jaden Knowles joins us tonight. You know, Jaden, they talk about when adults are out partying, you got that beer layer. I feel like for the kids tonight, it was a candy layer because I was out doing some trick or treating and it was fine. You're
Skittles
running,
warm you up.
You're throwing the Twix, like they're fine.
You know, you have those Skittles. The Skittles will keep you warm for sure. Will. But I did see some people out there with not a whole lot on it. They braving the cold, so hopefully they can find a way to stay warm. But we will see those warm temperatures tomorrow, like Mark just mentioned. So far, they're looking at current temperatures still on the cooler side, the upper 30s as well as the low 40s. We're currently at 40 degrees here in downtown Denver, and also the 20s and 30s are out there. 25 degrees in Lima and 20s and 30s in the high country. Look how warm it is in Grand Junction right now, 52 degrees. And actually, the high country saw warmer temperatures than us across the metro area as highs for this afternoon. Here's your live radar, noticing nice and dry. We're really not tracking much, and we're going to stay dry the next couple of days. And unfortunately, no snow in the forecast as well. Here's the rest of your forecast for this evening, dropping down to the low 30s, and we should see a low tonight of about 26 degrees. So it is going to get pretty chilly, but I do have some good news in the forecast. The warmer temperatures Saturday as well as Sunday, maybe even getting close to that record on Sunday. I'll talk more about that in my full forecast. Jenny?
Jaden, thank you. Boulder County authorities say the last suspect in a major car theft ring across the whole Front Range is now in custody. The Boulder County District Attorney's Office says for the past year and a half, the group's been stealing cars, taking them to chop shops, and retitling them to use in other crimes. Investigators say that ring spanned more than 25 jurisdictions, resulted in nearly $1 million in lost property. 5 people were arrested last week. Today, police announced the last suspect, a 6th, Kimberly Salas, was arrested on Tuesday during a traffic stop near I-76 and Federal. All 6 are now in custody and face charges related to the operation.
A former Olympic hopeful is accused of killing an Uber driver in southern Colorado. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office says 38-year-old Jeremy Campbell's family reported him missing early Monday morning. Deputies found his car in an apartment parking lot with blood in the driver's seat and no sign of Campbell. Uber gave deputies information showing that 27-year-old Kayla Dawson was the last Uber rider that he picked up. Dawson told deputies that she fell asleep in the car and awoke to Campbell trying to touch her, so she stabbed him. The car crashed into a field where Dawson was accused of dumping the driver's body, then driving away in the car. Dawson later told investigators she wanted to get some fresh air and go for a, quote, joyride. Investigators determined that Dawson deliberately killed Campbell with the intent of robbing him. She's now scheduled to appear in court on November 6th. According to our partners at KRDO, Dawson competed at the U.S. Olympic trials in Oregon in the shot put competition, but ended up not making that event.
Aurora police are now asking for your help as they look for a suspect from a deadly shooting last weekend. The shooting happened on Saturday last week on Macon Street. Responding officers found a 34-year-old man with gunshot wounds. He later died at the hospital. Aurora police say 40-year-old Marcus Marcellus Harper McCrae. He's wanted on an active warrant out of Adams County for first-degree murder. Police say the public should not approach him. He is considered armed and dangerous. And if you have information, please call Metro Denver Crime Stoppers.
Grand Junction's largest homeless shelter and the biggest one between Salt Lake City and Denver is now set to close its doors for good. Homeward Bound says its North Avenue emergency shelter will shut down permanently. In a social media post, the shelter says they were able to raise about $150,000 that they needed to keep the shelter open 7 days a week, but that money will run out in January. Shelters says federal funding cuts and a statewide budget crunch have made it impossible to stay open long term. Homeward Bound plans to consolidate operations in the Pathways Family Shelter.
Tomorrow marks 70 years since the bombing of United Flight 629. 39 passengers and 5 crew members were killed just 10 minutes after that plane took off from Denver. The FBI says November 1st, 1955 is when it happened, and the man responsible placed dynamite in his mother's suitcase. He was trying to collect insurance money. The sabotage was America's first confirmed targeting of a civilian aircraft. Tomorrow, more than 100 family members of the 44 people on board are expected to show up for a memorial at Flightco Tower in Denver.
On the eve when SNAP funds were set to run out, 2 federal judges ruled the Trump administration must now continue to fund the program. However, it might be too late for tomorrow's scheduled payment, so people might not get those benefits immediately. Earlier this month, the Department of Agriculture announced it would freeze payments to SNAP because the shutdown would not allow them to keep funding it. The program serves about 42 million Americans and about 600,000 people here in Colorado. Judges say the USDA should pull the money from their $6 billion contingency plan. It only partially covers the program, though, which costs about $8 billion. It still may be a while for recipients to see the money. That process to get loaded onto the cards takes about 1 or 2 weeks.
The uncertainty over SNAP benefits is really hitting families hard, and it's putting pressure on Colorado food pantries. Schools are now stepping in, trying to help fill the gaps. Inside Denver's Teller Elementary, there's a small closet in the cafeteria that's become a makeshift food pantry. Volunteers serve not just students, but also their families and even some school staff. What used to be about 25 to 30 families a week has now more than doubled, and volunteers say demand is only growing with those SNAP benefits at risk.
We've actually recently met about how we can meet that greater need coming up. And that's really why we're starting to expand our hours. We're concerned. I think that we're ready to meet the challenge, but it's really uncertain times. We don't know what exactly is going to happen.
The pantry will now be open on the weekends as well. This is not technically part of any DPS program, but there are some volunteers and parents at other schools who have seen this and decided to set up a similar pantry.
So this is a great time to tell you that the need is so high right now, and you can help by chipping in to help your local food banks. Our 9 Cares Colorado Shares campaign officially kicks off tomorrow. It's all the more important this year. We hope to raise enough money for buying more than 2 million meals to help feed Coloradans in need. You'll be able to donate online while checking out at Kin Supers as well, stores around the metro area.
Another federal judge has now ruled against President Trump, this time blocking an executive order that would have required people to show proof of citizenship to vote. The judge sided with Democratic and civil rights groups who sued to stop that order from taking effect. The ruling states that the order is an unconstitutional violation of the separation of powers. The administration argues the mandate is necessary to restore public confidence in U.S. elections.
Ohio lawmakers approved a new congressional map that gives a slight boost to the GOP. It comes as states around the country consider changing their maps after Texas redrew its districts in an effort to elect more Republicans. The map shifts 2 Democratic-held districts in Ohio to the right and 1 to the left. That gives Republicans a 12-3 advantage in that state. Meanwhile, Virginia's Senate approved a new constitutional amendment that would allow the legislature there to draw new congressional maps for the 2026 midterms. The amendment still has to be approved one more time to put into a referendum this spring. Red states like Texas, North Carolina, and Missouri have already redrawn their districts around the country. Voters in California will decide on Tuesday's election the fate of its redistricting plans. Colorado Democratic Attorney General Phil Weiser has called on the state to do the same here in an interview with Kyle Clark this week.